Wels catfish. We'll start in Europe with the continent's largest and most infamous freshwater predator. Wels catfish are native to rivers and lakes across Central and Eastern Europe, distinguished by an enormous, flattened head, 6 long barbels around the mouth, and a mottled, scaleless body that can exceed 9 feet and well over 200 pounds in the largest documented individuals. They're ambush predators capable of surviving decades in the right river system, and older, larger wels have developed a genuine reputation among European anglers as some of the most difficult and dangerous-feeling fish to land on rod and reel, simply due to sheer mass. Wels catfish have occasionally been documented preying on waterfowl, and there's a small but genuine body of anecdotal and some filmed evidence of extremely large individuals attempting to take pigeons or other birds directly off the water's surface. It's exactly the kind of detail that's made the species a recurring subject of both serious research and slightly exaggerated folklore across the continent for centuries. Mekong giant catfish. If the Wels is Europe's giant, this next fish is one of the largest freshwater fish anywhere on the planet, full stop. Mekong giant catfish are native to the Mekong River basin across Southeast Asia, capable of exceeding 600 pounds and 9 feet in length, with a body seemingly built at a completely different scale than nearly everything else covered in this video. Unlike most large predatory catfish, adults feed primarily on algae and plant matter rather than actively hunting, a surprising dietary shift for a fish this size. The species is now critically endangered, its population devastated by dam construction fragmenting the Mekong's migratory routes, and decades of targeted fishing for a fish once considered a genuine delicacy across the region. Conservation programs now work directly with local fishing communities, releasing accidentally caught individuals, rather than allowing this species to disappear the way so many other river giants worldwide already have.
Redtail catfish. South America's rivers hold their own giants, and this next species is one of the most recognizable predatory catfish kept anywhere in the world, in an aquarium size almost nobody is actually prepared for. Redtail catfish are native to the Amazon and Orinoco river basins, easily identified by a dark gray-black back, a pale to white belly, and a vivid orange-red tail that gives the species its name. In the aquarium trade, redtail catfish are notorious for being sold as small, manageable juveniles that go on to exceed 4 feet in the right conditions, routinely outgrowing the tank they were purchased for within just a couple of years. That mismatch between juvenile size and adult reality has made the redtail catfish something of a cautionary tale within the aquarium hobby specifically, a genuinely impressive predatory fish in the wild, and one of the most commonly underplanned for pet purchases in the entire freshwater fish-keeping world. Piraiba, Goliath catfish. Sharing those same South American rivers is a predator even larger than the redtail, and considerably less familiar outside the region it calls home. Piraiba, sometimes called the Goliath catfish, are native to the Amazon basin, among the largest catfish species in South America, with documented individuals exceeding 200 pounds. They're powerful, wide-ranging predators known to undertake genuinely long-distance migrations along the Amazon and its major tributaries, following seasonal prey movements across enormous stretches of river most other fish never travel in a lifetime. Local fishing communities along the Amazon have targeted Piraiba for generations, and the species holds a significant place in regional commercial and subsistence fisheries, even as international awareness of the fish remains comparatively limited outside South America itself.
Electric catfish. We'll head to Africa now for a fish that solves the predator-prey problem in a way nothing else on this list attempts. Electric catfish are native to rivers and lakes across tropical Africa, equipped with specialized electric organs running along the body capable of generating a genuine, powerful shock, strong enough to stun prey or deter predators, and strong enough that local fishing communities have historically treated the species with real caution when handling it. Unlike the more familiar electric eel of South America, which generates its charge through a modified muscle structure running most of its body length, electric catfish produce their shock through an entirely different organ system, an example of the same basic ability evolving independently in 2 unrelated fish lineages. That capability made the species notable well beyond biology alone. Ancient Egyptian artwork depicts electric catfish, suggesting people along the Nile were aware of the fish's shocking ability thousands of years before anyone understood electricity in any scientific sense at all. Upside-down catfish. Still in Africa, this next fish is named for behavior that's exactly as literal as it sounds. Upside-down catfish, genus Cynonis, are native to rivers and lakes across Africa, and multiple species within the genus spend a significant portion of their time swimming inverted, belly facing upward, a genuinely unusual posture among fish generally. The behavior appears to help the species feed efficiently along the underside of floating debris and the water's surface, accessing food most other bottom-oriented catfish simply can't reach from a normal orientation. That inverted swimming has made several Cynotis species popular in the aquarium trade specifically for the novelty of the behavior, and it's a clear example of how much catfish body plans and behavior can diverge from the bottom-dwelling scavenger stereotype most people default to when picturing the entire order.
Glass catfish. Moving to Southeast Asia, this next fish solves the problem of avoiding predators in open water through a strategy almost nothing else on this list shares: disappearing entirely. Glass catfish are native to rivers across Thailand and neighboring Southeast Asian countries, and true to the name, their bodies are almost entirely transparent, with the skeleton and internal organs genuinely visible through the skin in living specimens. That transparency serves as camouflage in open water, making the fish considerably harder for predators to track compared to a solidly colored fish moving through the same current. Unlike most catfish on this list, glass catfish are peaceful, genuinely schooling fish, often kept in aquariums specifically for the striking visual effect of an entire group of nearly invisible fish moving in unison, a level of physical transparency that remains rare across the entire animal kingdom, let alone within this one family. Iridescent shark catfish. Also native to Southeast Asia's major river systems, this next fish carries a common name that causes more confusion than almost any other entry on this list. Iridescent shark catfish, genus Pangasius, are native to the Mekong and Chao Phraya river basins, named for a shark-like dorsal fin silhouette despite having no actual relation to sharks whatsoever. In the wild, they're a genuinely large, actively schooling river fish, capable of exceeding 4 feet, and they're farmed commercially at enormous scale across Southeast Asia, showing up in supermarkets worldwide under names like swai or basa. Most people who've eaten this fish have no idea it's a catfish at all. That commercial farming success runs alongside a much quieter conservation concern. Wild Pangasius populations have declined significantly due to damming and habitat pressure along the Mekong, even as farmed populations of the same species thrive in aquaculture facilities completely disconnected from the wild river system the species originally called home.
Pictus catfish. Back to South America for a smaller, considerably more approachable fish than most of the giants covered so far. Pictus catfish are native to river basins across South America, easily identified by long, striking barbels, often extending past the length of the body itself, paired with dark spotting across a pale silvery frame. Unlike the redtail catfish covered earlier, Pictus catfish stay genuinely manageable in size for a home aquarium, rarely exceeding 6 inches, which has made them one of the most popular smaller predatory catfish in the entire freshwater hobby. Those elongated barbels aren't just visually distinctive, they're genuinely sensitive sensory tool, letting the fish detect food and navigate effectively in low light or murky water where sight alone wouldn't be reliable.
Corydoras.
Sharing South American rivers with nearly every fish covered in this section, this next genus might be the most widely recognized small catfish group in the entire aquarium world. Corydoras are native across a huge range of South American rivers and streams, small, armored bottom dwellers covered in bony plates rather than the smooth or barbled skin seen in most catfish on this list. The genus includes well over 100 recognized species, most peaceful, genuinely social fish that naturally school together in the wild, feeding along the substrate for leftover food and small invertebrates. That combination of small size, armor plating, and genuinely peaceful schooling behavior has made Corydoras one of the most commonly recommended catfish for beginner aquarium keepers worldwide, a sharp contrast to the solitary, outsized predators dominating most of the rest of this list.
Hardhead catfish. We'll head to North American saltwater for this next entry, proof that not every catfish on this continent lives in a river or lake at all. Hardhead catfish are native to coastal waters along the Gulf of Mexico and Atlantic seaboard, a genuinely marine species rather than freshwater, identified by a bony, armored headplate and long barbels used to locate food along sandy and muddy sea bottoms. They're notorious among surf and pier anglers, less for size and more for sheer numbers, frequently stripping bait intended for more desirable species and requiring careful handling due to mildly venomous spines on the dorsal and pectoral fins. That venomous spine is a genuine, if rarely serious, hazard. A sting causes real pain but is generally not medically dangerous, though it's caused enough minor injuries among careless anglers over the years that the species carries a real, practical reputation along much of the coastline it inhabits. Gafftopsail catfish. We'll close with the hardhead's close saltwater relative, sharing the same coastline and the same reputation, distinguished by one genuinely striking physical feature. Gafftopsail catfish are also native to Gulf and Atlantic coastal waters, immediately distinguishable from hardhead catfish by a dramatically elongated, sail-like extension on the dorsal fin, along with notably longer barbels trailing from the mouth. Like the hardhead, Gafftopsail catfish carry mildly venomous spines and are frequently caught incidentally by anglers targeting other species along the same stretches of coastline. What sets this species apart behaviorally is genuine paternal care. Male Gafftopsail catfish carry fertilized eggs in their mouths for weeks at a time, foregoing food for the entire incubation period, specifically to protect developing young until they're ready to survive independently, a level of parental investment rare among marine fish generally, let alone catfish specifically.